Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We're looking at the next pattern that we're going to be doing today, and this, in case you didn't know, is the beginning of March, and this is National Crochet Month. So we are going to start off with this beautiful afternoon wrap, and it is made using Caron yarn. It does call for up to 4 colors of yarn. So all you need to do is go to yarnspirations.com, type in afternoon wrap, and pull this pattern up. This pattern, not particularly this pattern, but this idea was given to me by a really great friend and a lady that's very close to me. She's in my crochet group on Facebook, and also she's just a dear friend, and she's a lady that I call one of my internet moms. There's a lot that's going on right now in our family, and she came up with this idea. She said, why don't you find a wrap or a prayer shawl, something you can use as that idea, and then that way when the issues that are going on come and get real heavy on the situation around me, that I could make something like this and wrap myself in it and say a prayer for those around me. So this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to share this project with you, and hopefully this will give you some inspiration as well for those difficult times maybe that you guys may have. So we're going to do this project together, and thank you, Mama Sharon, for giving me this idea. I really appreciate it. So we're going to do this, and again, this is in Caron yarn. So go ahead, pull up the afternoon wrap on yarnspirations.com, and you will be able, it's fine to pick out however many colors you want. The pattern itself calls for Plum Perfect, Off-White, Gray Heather, and Charcoal Heather. I will show you the colors that I have chose when I get back with you. So I will meet you up, and we will start this beginning month of crochet, National Crochet Month, for the month of March together with this beautiful wrap. Alright guys, so the colors that I'm going to go with for my afternoon wrap, I am going to be using, it's called simply Off-White. This one is basically your burgundy color. This is Plum Perfect, which it calls for as well. And then this is your basic gray. I did start mine a little bit over the weekend, so I'm going to restart a piece with a separate roll of gray. That way I don't have to take this out, and then I'll pick that part back up. But then you're also going to need an H hook if you want your wrap to be just a tad bit bigger. You can go to an I. You can do it whatever size you prefer. But the measurements for using your I or your 5mm hook is going to give you approximately about 20 inches by 75 inches. So that's going to be your measurement with a size H hook, which is what it calls for. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is you're going to pick a color that you're going to start with, and if you look at the picture, please pull that up and follow along with me. Your main colors in the picture it shows are gray and the plum. So out of your 4 colors, make sure you pick which 2 that you want your main colors to be. So I'm going to want my main colors to be my burgundy and my gray. Okay, so those are going to be my 2 main colors. So that's why I started with my gray, because I wanted that to be one of my main 2 colors. Alright, so I'm just going to put the rest of these back, and then I'm going to set that aside, and then I'm going to get my gray and go ahead and pick whichever color that you're going to start with. And I'm going to pull my pattern up here, and what you're going to do is, the first thing that it tells you to do is you're going to repeat your pattern I'll get down to that part here in just a second. It'll explain itself just a tad bit better if I do it at the time. So basically what you want to do is you're going to start off in multiples of 3 plus 1 and then 1 for the foundation chain. So basically with A, whichever color it is that you choose to be A, you're going to chain 224. Okay, and you don't want to do those very tightly. Okay, so just do them with a relaxed stitch, and you're just going to chain a total of 224. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay guys, so now once you have gotten your 224 chains, you're going to do rows 1 through 3 of your stitch pattern. Okay, so that means they have your stitch pattern up at the top under your instructions of this pattern. So that's why you need to be following along with me on the pattern on the website. So row 1 of your stitch pattern says you're going to single crochet, chain 3, and double crochet into the second chain from your hook. So you're going to count, so 1, 2, you're going to go in that second chain from your hook for a single crochet. Then you're going to do a chain 3. Alright, and then into that same stitch you want to do a double crochet. Alright, and then you're going to do a single crochet, chain 3, double sorry about that. Then you're going to skip the next 2 chains, 1, 2, and you're just going to repeat that stitch pattern. So you're going to do a single crochet, chain 3, and double crochet back in that same stitch. Okay, skip 2, single crochet in the next, chain 3, and then double crochet in that same stitch. And that's going to be your row 1 of your stitch pattern. This is the pattern that you're going to get all the way across row 1. And again, your stitch pattern consists of 3 rows, okay? And that's going to be the pattern that you're going to continue to make your wrap. So this is row 1 of the stitch pattern. So again, you're going to skip 2, single crochet into the next, chain 3, and double crochet in the same stitch. Very simple. Skip 2, single crochet, chain 3, and double crochet into that same stitch. And you're just going to work this all the way across. Okay, so work that across, and I will meet you back up once we get to the very end. And all you're going to do is single crochet. Actually, you'll just repeat this all the way across. So I'll meet you at the end of this round. Alright, I am down to the last couple stitches, so we'll do those together. So I'm going to do my single crochet here, my chain 3, and my double. And yes, if you haven't figured out by now, this is worked long ways. Seems like it takes forever, but there is an end, and trust me. Okay, so then you'll skip these last 2, and then in the last one you'll do the same. You will single crochet, chain 3, and you will do your last double there. Okay, so that's what you're going to have beginning to end. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn over. George has been on my table. And you are going to now do row 2 of this stitch pattern. Okay, so what you're going to do here is we will chain up 3. And this is going to count as the first double crochet. Now you're going to double crochet also in this first stitch. So go right here on the top of that double crochet and work your next double crochet there. And then what you want to do is repeat your pattern. You're going to single crochet, chain 3, and double crochet into this chain 3. So single crochet, chain 3, and double crochet right into that chain 3 space. Just like that. Okay? And then what you're going to do is you're just going to repeat that process. So go into that next chain 3 gap and do a single crochet, chain 3, and double crochet all in that chain 3 gap. And then you're just going to work that pattern, which is row 2 of the stitch pattern, all the way across. So go into that next chain 3 space, do your single crochet, chain 3, and double crochet. Okay, jump over to the next one, single crochet, chain 3, and double crochet. And you're just making arches. So single crochet, chain 3, and double crochet. And that's what you're going to have for the second row of the stitch pattern itself. Okay, so go all the way across, and then what you're going to do is single crochet in top of the last double crochet once you get all the way across, and I will meet you back up at the end of this row. Alright guys, we are up to the last chain 3 space of round 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet here into the chain 3 gap. We're then going to chain 2, and then we're going to double crochet into the last stitch. Okay, making sure you get both of those loops and do your double crochet into that chain 2 instead of actually into that gap. And that brings us to the end of that row. So now for the last row of our stitch pattern, you're going to do the chain 1, and then we're going to single crochet into that first stitch. And then what you're going to do from here is you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to do a double crochet into this next chain 2 space. So double crochet into that chain 2 space we just made. And then in the next chain 3 space, you're going to do a single crochet, chain 3, and double crochet. So that sets us up to go again. So then you're going to repeat this all the way across. So in our next chain 3 space, you're just going to do a single crochet, chain 3, and double crochet. Jump to the next one and do that again. Single crochet, chain 3, and double crochet. Same thing we've been doing. Okay? Single crochet in the next chain 3 gap, chain 3, and double crochet. So this is what all 3 of your rows for our stitch pattern is going to look like. Okay, so I'm going to finish this row up going across, and then you are going to simply do a single crochet into the top of the double crochet at the end, and I will meet you back up at the end of this row. We're at the end of row 3 of our stitch pattern. So what you're going to do is go to that last double crochet and do a single crochet. So now what you're going to do is turn, and now what you're going to do is you're going to resume rows 2 and 3, which are these same 2 rows that we've been doing in this same color. You're going to repeat these rows another 4 times. Okay, so you're going to do row 2 and then row 3, then row 2 and row 3. So you're going to do them a total of 4 times. So basically you'll start row 2, you'll chain up 3, and then you're going to double crochet into that first one, and then you're going to start your pattern here. You're going to do your single crochet, chain 3, and then you're going to do your double crochet into that same chain 3 space. So I'm going to put my stitch marker here so that I know that that's my first row of the 4 that I have to go. So then you're just going to keep doing that stitch pattern across. It's nothing no different than what we've been doing. So you're just going to repeat these last 2 rows, or these first 2 rows we did. You're going to do each one of them 2 more times each, okay? So row 2 and row 3, you're going to repeat them 2 more times each to give you a total of 4 additional rows on top of this. So you'll have you'll have a total of 7 rows if you count your bottom row. Okay? So I'm going to set you free. So you're going to do row 2, then row 3, row 2, then row 3. And once that is complete on my end, I will catch back up with you and we will move forward on to our next part of our wrap. Meet you up there. Alright guys, what I did here is for this one row, after we did our total of 4 rows here, is we only had to do 1 row in our cream or whatever color that you're using for that, and we had to do this row as row 2. Okay, so we did row 2, 3, 2, 3, and then this row here we went back to doing row 2 because we're just alternating. So rows 2 and 3, 2 and 3 again, we're alternating. So that's going to be the last explanation I'm going to give of that through this video. So all you're doing mainly is concentrating on color all through this project. So basically you just need to know where your colors are going, and all I did for this row was color change to my cream. Okay, so this was done in row 2, and I just went ahead and done row 2. So I did that in white. Okay, so once you've done that in white, you will just immediately go ahead and change back to your gray. So I went ahead and did that 1 row. Okay, so you'll have to go ahead and stop your video and do this one. So then once I've gotten to the end of row 2 again, I'm going to single crochet into this last chain 3 space. I'm going to chain up 2, and then I'm going to double crochet into that last stitch, but I'm not going to finish it off. I'm going to change back to my gray. Alright, and if you go down and read the instructions for this next color section, which it says you're going to do 2 rows in color A. So that means you're going to do these next 2 rows in this gray. Okay, so you're going to do 2 more rows, or the next 2 rows in this gray. Okay, now remember, you're just switching off the pattern. Row 2, row 3, row 2, row 3. Okay, so you're just going to then turn it over, and we're going to start row 3 of this pattern. So that's going to be a chain 1, single crochet in the first, and you're going to double crochet into that first chain 2 space. Whoops, sorry, I grabbed my white. I forgot to cut that one off. I'm using my gray here. I'm listening to George talk, and of course now he's going to get up here with us. So chain 1 and single crochet. Okay, and then you're going to do that chain 3 and double crochet. Okay, and then what you're going to do is just start your normal pattern again. So single crochet, chain 3, and double crochet into that next chain 3 space. Okay, so you're just going to go and do that pattern all the way across. So single crochet, chain 3, and then do your double crochet. And that's going to be your pattern all the way across. Okay, so do this for 2 rows. Do row 2, and then you're going to work up row 3. Row 3 is the same thing you've been doing. So you already know what row 3 is because we've been doing that pattern. Okay, so work. Hey guys, welcome back. We are looking now at the finished 6 rows in gray. And what I did is simply because there's only 1 row of the next color, I went ahead and did that row because all it is just a continuation of the pattern that we've been doing the whole time, which the entire wrap is going to be the same pattern. All you're doing is mainly concentrating on color and color change through this entire project. So basically for this row, which is back and forth rows 2 and 3 of our stitch pattern for this project, this is row 2. I went ahead and worked it all the way to the end in white. Okay, so this is the stitch, or this is the row now that you need to be working. I went ahead and worked it because it was only 1 row. So you can stop your video and go ahead and work this. And I'm going to go ahead and move ahead to the next section. So now once you get here to the end, what you're going to do is you're going to single crochet into this last chain 3 space. You're going to do a chain 2, and you're going to double crochet into this last single crochet, but you're not going to finish off there because what we're going to do now is our instruction says to change back to our beginning color, which is my gray. So I'm going to change that back and put that on, and I have fastened off my white already. And now you're just going to turn this, and then you're going to start now with your next row, which is row 3 of the pattern, because we just finished row 2. Now we're going to do row 3. So you want to chain 1. You're going to single crochet right there into that same stitch. Let me zoom in just a bit here so you can see. So you chained 1 and single crocheted in the top. Now you're going to do a chain 3, and you're going to double crochet now into this chain 2 space. And then you're going to resume your pattern. So in this next chain 3 space, you'll do a single crochet, a chain 3, and a double crochet. And you'll resume that pattern. So single crochet, chain 3, and a double crochet. Single crochet, chain 3, and double crochet. Okay, so that's going to be your color change for this row. And then you're going to do 2 rows of this color. So you're going to get to the end of this row, and then you're going to come back across, and you're going to go back and do another row 2. Okay, and then we're going to do another color change at that point. So just do your rows like we've been doing them. You know how to do them by now. If you need to be reminded, you can rewind the video. I'm just going to continue these 2 rows of gray, and once I have completed my row 3 here, I am going to do row 2, and then I'll meet you up for the next color change. Alright guys, we are at the end of another round, which is the 2 gray rounds here. So we are ending our round or our row 2 of our stitch pattern again. So we are going to complete that by doing a single crochet in the last chain 3 space, followed by chain 2, and then you're going to do a double crochet into that last stitch. And we're not going to finish that off. We are now going to change color. So now what is being asked is you're going to change to your color C, which in this case is going to be my what is this called? This is called the Plum Perfect. So I'm going to be using my plum for this color C. And whatever color you choose for this part, you are going to be doing 2 rows of this color. Okay, so we are going to join and finish off your gray or your previous color. Okay, so we just finished our row 2 of our stitch pattern. So now we're going to pick up with row 3. So we will turn our piece here as we get all of our tails situated and get our yarn situated here. So you will start doing row 3 again. And let me zoom in a bit for you here. So you'll go back to doing row 3. So you will chain 1. You will single crochet into that first one and then chain 3. You will double crochet in this chain 2 and then you will resume your pattern. So into that next chain 3 space you will do your single crochet, chain 3, and your double crochet. Okay, and don't worry about your ends here. They're not going to be exactly perfect from where we're tying on and connecting our new rows of yarn. You don't want them all zigzagged really badly, but they're just going to be just a little out of sorts. Not bad. You see just right here where you're tying, but for the most part they're going to be straight and aligned. And if they're not, you may be a little bit off key with your rows, so you may want to check that if you're having that problem. So just go ahead and continue like we've been doing. You'll do this is pattern, your stitch pattern, of course, as we've been doing through the whole project, is you're just alternating rows 2 and 3 of the stitch pattern. So you're going to do 2 rows. So this is row, let's see, which one was this one? This is actually row 3 right here that we just did. So you're going to finish this row and then you're going to turn, and for the next row of this color you're going to go back and do row 3 of the stitch pattern. Okay, so you're going to do this row and the next row, and then we're going to meet up, and then we're going to change over to the next color, which is going to be our next main color aside from our gray. Okay, so go ahead and complete this row and your next row, remembering to change rows, not colors, but your row. Okay, so I'm going to finish up these 2 rows and I will meet you back up for the next color change.